One kiss. That's all it took to turn Catriona Balfe's world upside down. Behind the glamorous red carpets and Outlander's on-screen magic, her marriage to Tony McGill is now hanging by a thread. And the reason involves none other than Sam Heughan. This isn't just gossip, it's the moment that could change everything. Hollywood and the Outlander fandom are reeling after whispers turned into a storm of speculation surrounding beloved actress Catriona Balfe, her husband Tony McGill, and co-star Sam Heughan. According to sources close to the couple, tensions between Balfe and McGill reached a breaking point following an incident at an exclusive after-party in London. Multiple witnesses claimed they saw Balfe sharing what appeared to be a tender, intimate moment with her longtime screen partner, Sam Heughan. What began as playful conversation reportedly escalated into a kiss that sent shockwaves through the room. The rumored turning point. The alleged kiss happened during a private celebration for the upcoming Outlander season, attended only by cast, crew, and select industry insiders. One attendee, who asked to remain anonymous, described the atmosphere as warm and celebratory until the supposed kiss happened. It wasn't a long kiss, but it was enough to draw attention, the source claimed. People froze. You could feel the energy in the room change. By the end of the evening, whispers had already begun circulating through the entertainment grapevine, eventually reaching Tony McGill. Tony's silent reaction. Tony, who has been notoriously private throughout his marriage to Catriona, reportedly left the couple's London residence days later and has been staying with friends. While McGill has not made any public statements, insiders suggest he feels deeply betrayed, especially after years of standing quietly in the background while rumors about his wife and Heughan swirled. A close friend of McGill's allegedly told reporters, "Tony always trusted Catriona, but this cut deep. The fact it happened in front of people they both know makes it even harder to process." Catriona herself has yet to speak directly to the media, but a source close to the actress revealed she broke down in tears during a recent phone conversation with a friend, admitting that things may never be the same between her and McGill. While she supposedly insisted that the kiss was misinterpreted and not meant to be romantic, she acknowledged that damage has been done. The source continued, "She's devastated. She loves Tony, but she knows this has shaken the foundation of their marriage. She never imagined something so small could spiral like this." Sam Heughan caught in the middle. For his part, Sam Heughan has found himself unwillingly at the center of the storm. Known for his close friendship and on-screen chemistry with Balfe, Heughan has repeatedly denied past dating rumors. This latest scandal, however, has put him in an awkward position both professionally and personally. A production insider claims Heughan is embarrassed by the incident and fears it could impact not only his working relationship with Balfe, but also the tight-knit dynamic of the Outlander cast. Sam cares deeply for Catriona, but he doesn't want to be the reason her marriage ends. This whole thing has gotten completely out of hand, the insider said. Fans divided. The Outlander fan base, long known for passionately shipping Claire and Jamie, has erupted online. While some fans are gleefully feeding into the drama, others are urging everyone to give Balfe and McGill privacy. Twitter, Instagram, and fan forums have been flooded with heated debates. This is exactly why people say you shouldn't ship real actors. Now look at what's happened. If it's true, it just proves Sam and Catriona have always had something more. What's next? As of now, no official divorce filing has been confirmed. However, multiple outlets are reporting that McGill has consulted with a lawyer, and those close to him believe he is leaning toward ending the marriage. Meanwhile, Catriona is set to be focusing on filming commitments while privately hoping for reconciliation. Friends say she's determined to speak with Tony face-to-face to explain her side of the story, but whether he's ready to listen is another matter entirely. The coming weeks will be crucial for the couple. Whether this rumored kiss becomes the final chapter of their marriage or just a painful hurdle remains to be seen. The long-awaited Outlander spin-off finally arrived in the 2025 TV schedule with a splash. Not just one premiere episode, but two, aired back to back in one unforgettable night. Fans had been counting down for months, some since the day stars officially announced the green light. And when the night finally came, the response was immediate. Social media lit up with GIFs, quotes, and breathless recaps. It was as if the Droughtlander had ended for a second time. The series wastes no time immersing viewers in two parallel timelines. The first episode roots itself firmly in the 18th century Scottish Highlands, centering on Brian Fraser, Jamie Roy, and Ellen Mackenzie, Harriet Slater. Their relationship, tinged with political tension, family loyalty, and that undeniable pull of forbidden love, dominates the first hour. Viewers are treated to lush cinematography, mist curling over rolling green hills, flickers of candlelight in crowded taverns, and the subtle crackle of tension every time Brian and Ellen lock eyes. But just when the episode feels ready to settle into the slow burn of their story, the final 10 minutes yank the audience into a completely different era and a completely different couple. Julia Morriston, Hermione Corfield, and Henry Beauchamp, Jeremy Irvine, arrive in the narrative like a spark to dry tinder. Their setting is modern day, their chemistry immediate, and their introduction, an unapologetically passionate scene that echoed the raw intensity of Outlander's own Claire and Jamie in their earliest days. The choice was deliberate. Executive producers wanted the spin-off to honor Outlander's roots while also declaring its own voice. And for those who caught both episodes in one sitting, the juxtaposition was irresistible. Two love stories, separated by centuries, yet bound by themes of risk, trust, and fate. That first scene between Julia and Henry, tender yet unflinching, immediately drew comparisons to Claire and Jamie's first physical connection in Outlander. Fans on X, formerly Twitter, were quick to point out the framing. Close-ups on hands, lingering eye contact, the kind of breathless pauses that signal something more than just physical attraction. But in 2025, staging intimacy for television looks markedly different than it did in 2014. When Outlander premiered back in 2014, the concept of an intimacy coordinator was barely on the industry's radar. In those early seasons, Caitríona Balfe and Sam Heughan navigated intimate scenes through a mixture of personal negotiation, directorial guidance, and producer expectations. Speaking to Entertainment Weekly, Balfe reflected candidly. In the beginning, it was a constant negotiation between the director and the producers, how much they wanted versus how much we felt comfortable with. Those were never comfortable conversations, and sometimes it caused tensions. She explained that the introduction of Vanessa Coffey as Outlander's intimacy coordinator in season 6 was a turning point. Vanessa made such a huge difference. There was suddenly this neutral person whose entire focus was making sure both actors felt safe, that boundaries were respected, and that what we were creating was serving the story rather than just ticking some steamy scene box. It was liberating, actually. Vanessa Coffey's reputation in the industry is built on her ability to merge technical precision with emotional sensitivity. Her approach is part choreographer, part counselor, part advocate. On set, she begins by breaking down the script beat by beat, identifying moments where physical contact occurs and mapping them out in what's known as an intimacy map. Actors are invited to collaborate, marking personal no-go zones, suggesting adjustments, and voicing concerns. For the Outlander spinoff, Coffey worked closely with Corfield and Irvine in the weeks leading up to filming their first scene together. According to both stars, these sessions were not about rehearsing the kiss so much as building trust through repeated check-ins and transparency. She'd ask us, "How does this moment feel for you?" Heughan recalled. And if either of us hesitated, she'd find a new way to block it. There was never any pressure to just get over it. It was always about making sure the story felt real without compromising anyone's comfort. One of the challenges for any period romance, particularly one with the passionate reputation Outlander has earned, is balancing the audience's appetite for intimacy with the actor's need for safety. Balfe noted that before the coordinator role existed, there was a tacit assumption that actors should simply adapt to whatever level of physicality was required. You didn't want to be the difficult actor who pushed back, but that's a dangerous mindset. Intimacy coordinators change that dynamic completely. They make it normal to have boundaries, and they make sure those boundaries are built into the scene from the start. Crew members have noticed the change too. Without the tension of last-minute comfort negotiations, filming intimate scenes has become more streamlined and less emotionally taxing. Directors can focus on storytelling and cinematography, actors can focus on performance, and producers can rest assured that no one feels coerced. For the Outlander spin-off, this has meant that intimate moments, whether between Brian and Ellen in 18th century Scotland or Julia and Henry in the modern day, can be crafted with precision and emotional weight. There's no longer a sense of rushing through them just to get it over with. Instead, they're treated with the same care as any other emotionally significant beat in the story. Television romance in 2025 looks markedly different than it did in 2014. The industry has shifted to prioritize consent, representation, and the emotional safety of its performers. This isn't just about avoiding scandal or bad press. It's about creating a sustainable working environment in which actors can give their best performances without personal compromise. The Outlander spin-off's double-episode premiere made it clear that these values have been woven into the DNA of the new series. The intimacy isn't gratuitous, it's purposeful. Each kiss, each lingering glance, each touch is rooted in character motivation, in plot progression, and in emotional truth. As the season continues, both timelines promise to deepen, with Brian and Ellen navigating the dangerous political landscape of Jacobite Scotland, and Julia and Henry confronting the complexities of time travel in the modern world. For fans of Outlander, this spin-off offers the best of both worlds. The sweeping historical romance that drew audiences to Claire and Jamie's story in the first place, and the contemporary intimacy practices that ensure the actors bringing these new characters to life are protected and empowered. As Balfe put it, you can't change the past, but you can learn from it. I think that's what this spin-off is doing. It's honoring what worked about Outlander while making sure the next generation of actors has the tools we didn't. In the end, the series is more than just a continuation of a beloved franchise. It's a signpost for how television romance can evolve, blending authenticity with care and passion with respect. And judging by the reaction to those first two episodes, viewers are more than ready to follow wherever the story and the characters lead. In a candid and heartfelt conversation on BBC Radio's Saturday Live, Scottish actor Sam Heughan opened up about the formative experiences that shaped not only his career, but also his approach to life. Known worldwide for his portrayal of Jamie Fraser in Starz's epic historical drama Outlander, Heughan's journey from a boy in rural Scotland to a global star is as compelling as any story he's brought to the screen. Heughan is currently preparing for the final season of Outlander, a role he has inhabited for over a decade. Season 8, which is set to begin production soon, will bring the sweeping tale of Jamie and Claire Fraser to a close. But before cameras roll again, Heughan took a moment to reflect on his childhood, his love of exploration, and how a simple Scottish word, stravagan, captures the way he moves through the world. I grew up in rural Scotland, in a really small community. There were 4 people in my class at school, 4, and I would say I was perhaps a bit of a loner in some ways, maybe just because you spend a lot of time on your own. Heughan's early years were defined by nature, solitude, and the freedom to wander. Raised near the ruins of an old castle, he often explored the surrounding woods, fields, and historic grounds. These quiet adventures planted the seeds of a vivid imagination, a vital resource for any future actor. I was very fortunate to play in the forests or the grounds of an old castle where we were brought up and raised. And I think that being alone and using your imagination really sparked something inside me. I think it perhaps also gives you the drive as well. That drive would carry him far beyond the castle ruins. But before leaving rural life behind, he absorbed its rhythms and values, patience, self-reliance, and an openness to the unknown. When Heughan moved to Edinburgh as a teenager, he found himself in a completely different world. The capital city was a place of energy, culture, and unpredictability, a stark contrast to the quiet hills of his childhood. Yet he adapted quickly, finding joy in the city's constant movement. The joy of exploration and not knowing what's coming next really benefited my career as an actor, he reflects. When you're on set or working on a new project, there's always an element of the unknown. You never know exactly where a role will take you. It was in Edinburgh that Heughan began to seriously pursue acting. Surrounded by theater, music, and a thriving art scene, he discovered new ways to channel his creativity. The curiosity he'd nurtured as a boy wandering castle grounds found a new outlet on the stage. During the interview, the host brought up the Scottish word stravagan, asking if this love of wandering might have roots in Heughan's upbringing. Stravagan, I believe, means to go for a wee wander just as the sun is setting, so you're walking out in nature and enjoying that. Just going for a walk, going for a wander. For Heughan, stravagan is more than a pastime. It's a philosophy. He applies it not only to literal walks, but to the way he approaches his career and life. I've found myself all around the world stravaging around, he says. I think as an actor or a musician or as a model, you never know where your next job is coming from. So I think you take every opportunity that you can, and you try and enjoy that. His travels have taken him to places as far-flung as Chile, where he once spent time with gauchos in the Andes. I remember one of the gauchos was playing music the whole time. That's the kind of thing you just can't plan, you wander into it. The concept of stravagan was one of the inspirations behind Men in Kilts, a road trip with Sam and Graham, the unscripted travel series Heughan created and co-hosts with his Outlander co-star Graham McTavish. In the show, the two friends travel across Scotland and, later, New Zealand, exploring culture, history, and adventure with humor and curiosity. In many ways, Men in Kilts is Heughan's life philosophy captured on film. Take the scenic route, say yes to the unexpected, and find joy in the journey. Whether they're learning about whiskey making, testing their strength in Highland games, or diving into Scotland's rugged landscapes, the series celebrates the spontaneity and camaraderie that come from shared exploration. As Outlander prepares for its final season, Heughan is both reflective and grateful. He has spent over a decade portraying Jamie Fraser, a character who has defined his career and brought him international recognition. Season 7's first half aired in 2023, with the second half scheduled for 2024. Season 8, currently in pre-production, will serve as the show's swan song. It's been an incredible journey, Heughan has said in previous interviews. Jamie Fraser has been a huge part of my life. To say goodbye will be emotional, but I think we're going to end on something really special for the fans. The series, based on Diana Galaban's best-selling novels, has taken Jamie and Claire through wars, revolutions, and centuries-spanning romance. For Heughan, the role has been both a professional milestone and a personal adventure, taking him to filming locations around the world and introducing him to a fiercely loyal fan base. Listening to Heughan speak, it's clear that his childhood solitude was not a disadvantage, but a gift. The long hours spent in forests and castle grounds honed a capacity for imagination that would later serve him well on stage and screen. Acting, after all, is an act of what if, imagining what it's like to live another life, to walk in someone else's shoes, to feel emotions you've never personally experienced. For Heughan, that imaginative leap feels natural, rooted in the daydreams of his youth. I think it perhaps also gives you the drive as well, he says, underscoring how that early sense of self-reliance still fuels him. When you grow up having to create your own entertainment, you learn to look for stories everywhere. While stravagan may sound like a simple concept, for Heughan, it represents a broader approach to life. Embrace the unknown, stay curious, and remain open to the world's surprises. It's a mindset that has served him through the unpredictability of an acting career. In an industry where jobs are never guaranteed, The ability to adapt, explore, and find joy in uncertainty can be the difference between burnout and longevity. I think you take every opportunity that you can, and you try and enjoy that, Heughan says. While fans are preparing themselves for the end of Outlander, Heughan's career is far from slowing down. He has already starred in films such as The Spy Who Dumped Me and Bloodshot, and he continues to explore new creative projects, both on screen and off. There's also his whiskey brand, Sassenach Spirits, which has won multiple awards, and his charity work through My Peak Challenge, a global fitness and fundraising community he co-founded. But no matter how busy his schedule becomes, Heughan remains committed to finding moments for Stravagan, whether that means hiking in Scotland, wandering through a new city, or simply taking an unplanned detour. As the interview winds down, it's clear that Sam Heughan's story is as much about where he's been as where he's going. From a boy exploring castle grounds in rural Scotland to an actor stravaging across the globe, his journey is marked by curiosity, adaptability, and a deep appreciation for life's unexpected turns. And as he steps into the final season of Outlander, Heughan carries with him the same spirit that has guided him from the start. Keep wandering, keep imagining, and always be ready for the next adventure.